Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you Jane Woodward, who's going to be sharing her thoughts, ideas on how to be a successful broker in today's real estate market. Good morning, Jane.
Thank you. Thank you. So I want to thank Frank, number one, for putting this on and helping all of us learn from each other, and I can share what I've been doing for the past 15 years with all the John L. Scott team. So many people have asked me this morning, how nervous am I? And I'm going to tell you the truth. I know this like the back of my hand. My problem is I have so much to tell you that I'm going to try to keep it in some kind of a sequence. Okay? I can talk for 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. You do. Prospecting. And I do. You're absolutely right. Thank you. Thank you. So, how many of you would like to make more money in 2001? Yahoo! That's what this is all about. So before I begin, the number one reason that we do prospect is so that we need to have goals and dreams so that we know why we are going to work every day. Would you all agree? Mm-hmm. Perfect. So, and maybe it is the amount of money you want to make in a year, maybe it is the amount of deals, it doesn't matter what it is for you. Just kind of grasp that and get a hold of it and let's move forward. Okay? I have very strong goals and dreams, and Sonny will probably share those with you, that I'd like to accomplish, and pretty simply, prospecting is where I can create that business so that I can make the money that I want to make. So all prospecting is, and I know a lot of you can maybe associate it with cold calling, and if ever you say that word to me, you know that I always correct you with the word prospecting. And it is strictly a mindset. I have what you need, you just might not need it today. And the only way I can do that is contact people that I don't know and people I do know. And so that's how I create my business. So it is just a matter of connecting with people, either through phones, direct contact, either doors or, in a grocery store, it doesn't matter. Mailings, advertising, open houses, floor. A little more passive on those. However, homes are sold every day through open houses. So it's a little hard to keep track of those numbers so that you can create a predictable business. And that's basically what I have. I know exactly, because I keep track of my numbers, where my business comes from. So if the next year, if they came from expireds, then I better go after those. If it came from my past clients, go after those. And then create new business, because otherwise it becomes pretty complacent and pretty stable. One thing, as you all know, I follow the Mike Ferry system, which Mike Ferry is the real estate guru in my mind, and there's many other forms. But one email that I get this every day from him, and here's one thing that he said, and I just thought this was pretty fabulous. And this stuff stays in front of me all of the time. I have a board in front of me, I have all my goals. I know where I'm going. And one thing he says is one of the most dangerous things that an agent can do is live on past performances. What may even be worse than that is think that what they've done in the past is as good as it's going to get. And I thought, wow, isn't that interesting? We have to have growth. Make that part of our daily lives. And it doesn't matter in whatever you do. So, we'll continue on here, but I thought that was pretty good. So, I talk to approximately 25 to 30 people every single day. I start prospecting at 8, and I stop at 11. Again, that's a mindset. I could continue on, but by 11 o'clock I'm hungry. So, that's pretty much where I've come up with this. I call around listings. I call around sales. It does not have to be mine. It can be anybody's. I call expireds. I call for sale by owners. There's not a lot of them in our county. When I drive around, I will pick up their phone numbers. I'll knock at their door. And of course, my sphere and past clients. And one thing that how I call my sphere and my past clients is I take it alphabetically. So in other words, I have all my whole list of 184 or whatever, and those are my A list. I do have B's, I have C's, and I have D's, which, as you all know, maybe my D's are someone that have moved on. A B list would be somebody that, is older and you know, is not going to make another move. They're still on my list, and I still am in contact with them. But my A list is people that I believe strongly will give me referrals and are going to move on in the next year, 2, 3, it doesn't matter. I've already sold one house or whatever. So what I do is I take my A's and my B's, for instance. So let's say there's 30. There's 5 days in a week. I need to get all 30 of those calls in those 5 days. So that's 6 a day. How simple is that? Now S's, I have more, so I can't use S and T's, so I just use S, and I just use that for that week. It kind of depends. X, Y, Z, I only have, you know, 8. So I incorporate another letter in with that. But it's just an easy way for me to go, okay, I'm going to do 6 calls a day to all my past clients. They want me to succeed, or they would not have purchased a home or I have sold their home. Another one of my firm beliefs is that I ask each and every one of them, Janet, this is Jane with John L. Scott, and today is a business call. Do you have just a moment for me?
You bet.
Absolutely, everybody says that. So my goal this year is to sell 50 homes to new clients. Do you know anybody at this time? And normally I say, who do you know? Like in your church, or because I know who these people are, so I know if they have children in school, or if they're church, or whatever. So who do you know, like in your church, or the schools, that is looking to sell or buy a home in the next 30 days? And then I zip it. And they think, and then, you don't know anybody at this time? Great, well thank you for thinking about that. Can I count on you for 5 referrals this year? And absolutely every one of them say yes. Now, if I get 1, would that be better than none? If I ask for 1, how many am I going to get? So I ask for 5, it gives them something, and believe me, every 30 days, I'm on them. And do you mind if I call you again in the next 30 days? And sometimes I say the next 30 to 45 days, or, you know, it just kind of comes off of whatever but that's basically what I say. And I will ask, how's the kids, how's the job, blah, 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 you know, and I do have some personal questions, but I need to move on. And they are not interested in carrying on hours of conversation. Sometimes they do, and I have to reel them in, right? And, yes, Gabe?
So if you call the 45 days, do you say the same thing, then you don't do it?
Absolutely.
You do?
Absolutely. I say the same thing, Gabe, 30 times a day. When do you plan on moving?
I know, but I'm talking about these specific people.
Absolutely, the same thing.
Okay.
And it depends on how they answer the phone. But I started all that today's about a business call. Do you have just a moment for me? And then they'll tell me about, you know, they just joined the yacht club, or they just did this or just that, and you know, well, remember, I'm in the real estate business. And so I just keep reminding people of what I do. Thank you for asking. And I will answer the questions. And like I say, I could talk for days, but I'm going to just try to get through kind of simply a little bit about this, okay? So one of the easiest and most effective ways is following a script. That is all question-based. And I'm going to share some of those scripts with you. I'm going to give you copies of all my scripts, but I'm also going to do a little demonstration for you so that you know how the flow can go. And it is very simply. And when somebody gets off on a tangent, we're just coming right back, acknowledge what they say, come right back to the next question. So that it's always question-based. Okay? So whether you're calling on the phone or talking to a client in person or knocking on the doors, it's all the same. It's a proactive approach to reach my desired goals and yours, hopefully. Okay? So I've already gone over about calling my past clients and asking for the referrals, okay? And one thing, when using the phones, I have a routine that works for me. My energy and enthusiasm is extremely important. And it basically reflects my production for the day. And I'm going to tell you just a small story. This is the very first time that this has happened in 15 years. Monday morning, this past Monday morning, I have a coaching call. I have a coach that calls me every single week at 8 o'clock on Monday mornings. Monday morning, I have been trying to get a short sale closed, and I've been working with Chase Bank. And I've been working with this Sodar Raza. Well, I have not heard from him since the 18th. I have gone to his supervisors, I have done everything, and I can't get a response. I must have the HUD signed off today. This was Monday morning, because we're trying to close it on Monday. I have all the approvals, but they have to initial off on the HUD, correct? I can't find him. He is absolutely impossible. You cannot leave a message. There's no messages. It's only email, and I have a phone number. So I get to the supervisors. So finally, we get through this, and the supervisor, she said, well, I can text and email him. I said, well, could you call him? She said, no, we don't use phones. We only use text and email. This is probably somebody right in the next office. Finally, about 7:45, she calls me and said, well, he's been out of the office since the 18th. I'm just dumbfounded. I said, well, what do I do? Well, anyway, she did get it signed off on me. However, my coach said to me, you sound a little on edge this morning. Very interesting. And that's when I say my mindset, my enthusiasm, and my energy has to be on. So I cannot go into this email and all, everything, my phones and everything prior to my prospecting. I absolutely cannot do it. I can have nothing twist my brain because what I'm saying goes through that phone. And he picked it up, and it's the first time in 15 years. Very, very interesting. I only listen, and if anyone's been in my car, you know, I only listen to motivational tapes. My car hardly starts without it. Right, Terry?
Yep.
Right, Don? They've all been in my car recently. It's just the way I am. And it keeps my head in this game. Because I want, and I have goals, and I want a lot of money. Because money motivates me.